Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shade Squad. It's time to wake up because APLD is up almost 20% up. Almost 20% up in one day. And what did I tell you guys? I told you, hey, careful with this one. If you don't buy it under 10, when this thing starts going to 20, 25, because I got price targets here of 25 plus, you're going to be feeling like you missed out. I'm telling you right now, AI stocks are hot, but they're going to stay hot. Like, we don't have machines everywhere just yet. In fact, humans, for the most part, are not ready for that kind of fantasy setting. I want you to think about that. Think about Star Wars, right? You got robots everywhere. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have flying... Well, we'll have flying robots, I'm sure. They're called drones. But I don't know if we're going to have flying cars and all that. But the future is going to be very interesting because there's going to be robots everywhere, but we're not there yet. Again, think Star Wars. You're just going to be walking around and there's going to be just someone talking to an R2D2, and it's just going to be normal. Like it's normal. It'll be normal. It'll be just be like you won't even blink. It'll just be like whatever. I mean, it would be weird to see someone talking to a robot, right? Especially one that looks like R2D2, but you'd be like whatever. It's nothing. It will be the norm at that point. Kind of like people, back like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, people weren't walking around recording themselves with their phone and making videos, right? People weren't walking around doing like pranks for YouTube or just doing videography like that. People weren't doing that. There was no such thing as shooting a selfie back then. Nowadays, it's completely normal to be seeing someone just walking around talking seemingly to themselves, but really they're talking to their audience. Kind of like when I make my walk and talk videos. That's absolutely normal now. Whereas back then, if you saw someone talking to themselves, I guess with no phone in their hand, because there were no phones back then, you would probably think they're maybe a lunatic, right? Like, wait, that guy's just talking to himself. Like, they're not like, huh? You would be a little skeptical. So I think that's the something to really think about. We're still in early. I do see APLD at 25 and then in the future 100. But for right now, I would focus on that 28, 25. But we have to break 20 next for us to go to 25. I've seen this before with SoundHound as well. SoundHound was another stock. I forgot there was another Serve Robotics. A lot of these AI stocks, when they break out above 10, they go to 15. If they can break 15, we go to 20. And then if we can break 20, we go to 25. But usually at 25 is when we get a lot of selling pressure, and it reverses because I don't know why. I guess it's because 25 is a nice big round number. Anyone who bought under 10 is up like hundreds of percentages. And a lot of people just decide, hey, I'm going to sell here at 25. That's just how it is, right? When a lot of people decide at the same time to sell at a specific number, it comes down. It pulls back. I mean, we saw SoundHound drop from 25 to $6. So, Color Stock dropped from 5 to $1, then did a reverse split. So that's the beautiful thing about this is it can go to 25 and then come right back down under 10. That's what I'm saying. It's not a stock you want to chase right now. And if you do, you better have like the tightest stop ever. Like you want to immediately get stopped out, and because you don't want to end up holding a bag if it does come down. I don't think it will for now. I would say because we're in a bull run, and AI stocks tend to have the most strength, we should see this continue higher. I mean, where are the sellers? They just got destroyed today. Absolutely annihilated. Sellers had a chance to push us down. Instead, they're not showing up. Buyers are the ones showing up 20% in one day. I didn't see that coming either. So, I think overall, if you're still in this, I say hold. And yeah, if you bought under 10, you're still holding. I mean, you might make a lot. I don't know if it's going to be the next Palantir, but it's going to be its own thing. Let me put it that way. It's the next APLD. It's going to be its own thing. When this thing goes, if it does go beyond 25 and it starts getting a lot of hype, just remember that there's other AI infrastructure stocks and they're gonna get a lot of hype too, right? That we know, we've seen that with quantum stocks, right? Quantum stocks, one quantum stock gets a lot of hype, all the other quantum stocks get a pump too. And that's important because if we know that AI infrastructure, if we see APLD just skyrocketing, we're gonna see other stocks in the same sector, in the same business, rocket as well. So it's not a bad idea to look for other AI infrastructure stocks and maybe position yourself in those if they haven't moved too much. I know of one already. I made a whole video on it, TSSI. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave a link in the comments below. But that video, I go over AI infrastructure play that's still relatively cheap and hit a high of 30s and can go to 50. So that's just something to think about. That's something to think about. That's just kind of how it is, right? When one goes, the others in the same business rocket as well. And sometimes the best opportunity is with the ones that haven't moved yet, the ones that aren't getting the attention. That's how you make the big bucks. So, APLD here. I just realized my internet just went down. Yeah, my internet just went down, guys. This whole time I'm like, I thought I was showing a chart. I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at my talking points here on my notepad, but that doesn't change anything. We don't even need the charts. We already know what's coming. Funny thing is, historically, August tends to be kind of like tends to be a meh kind of month for stocks. I mean, Bitcoin hasn't gone much of anywhere. A lot of stocks haven't gone much of anywhere. Nvidia hasn't gone much of anywhere. It's just kind of hovering in the high 170s, low 180s. So I would say we're waiting for the Fed. We're waiting to see if we get a rate cut, and that's going to be like the big catalyst. We also have Nvidia earnings coming up. If Nvidia earnings beats, we'll get a rise in the markets as well. But the Fed rate cuts, that's going to be what decides whether we go higher or lower. So we're just waiting. If you haven't noticed, a lot of stocks just aren't really going much of anywhere. Like they're just everything's just kind of halted to all the big boys have kind of halted. Like we're not moving like we were back then. Back then we were just rising slowly, but we were like going higher and higher and higher with seemingly no end in sight. Now we're kind of just, it's like the market's waiting for the big day. So I don't expect much movement until Nvidia earnings and when Fed Powell speaks again. But the fact that APLD is performing like this, just imagine once we get past those catalysts, those market-wide catalysts. Market-wide catalyst means it's a catalyst that sends the market as a whole up or down. Like what if we could easily just rip huge and we're going to see big pumps across the markets. Like we saw earlier in the middle of the year that got us to where we are today. So that's all I got to say. It's a buy. But be very careful if you're buying right now.